Hello, welcome back to AnewZ studio here at COP29 venue. I'm Anastasia Lorena. Joining me now is Jimi Cohen, CEO of Treegents. Warm welcome to our program.
Thank you so much. Let's grow.
Thank you so much. Well, you have a great initiative. We had a chance to talk a bit before this interview started. So tell me again and to our viewers about the idea you're working on, its uniqueness.
Thank you so much. Well, after I personally broke the Guinness World Record of most trees planted in a day by an individual, now we're trying to break another world record, and this is most trees planted by any number of people. Ethiopia actually set this record at 616 million trees in a day. So right here at COP, we formed something called the Grow-alition. The Grow-alition is many different countries, companies, and nonprofits coming together so that we can make history. Our goal is to plant 1 billion trees collectively on World Environment Day, and I'm really excited to announce that Ethiopia, the pioneers who've really set that record, they've joined the Grow-alition. Same with South Africa, same with Nigeria, same with Ghana, same with UK, many different countries coming together so that we can make history on World Environment Day. And once we accomplish that goal, we'll have so much forward momentum, we'll be unstoppable, we'll be able to regenerate the world.
Fantastic. How was successful your participation here at COP29? Did you find someone you can work with in the future?
Could not have been better. All of those partnerships I just mentioned happened right here at COP. I knocked on every single delegate office door and I went in there and I just pitched them and they were all excited about this initiative. Yeah, they opened the door. I mean, yeah, some of the doors were locked, but others I went in and pitched them this initiative. And yeah, so South Africa pledged to plant at least 1 million trees and different countries coming together. What if they commit financially or with their time, with their people? And another really great partnership is, so Treegents has developed an app where we can easily track the trees planted and their growth as well. So it's called the Proof of Plant app, and we can film the trees before and after. It captures the GPS as you're filming in the application. The AI counts exactly how many trees were planted, and then we have third-party verifiers as well. So it's a very transparent way. It also allows us to gamify this initiative, so we can see leaderboards, we can have prizes as well, all of that built in, so we can really grow a movement of tree planters around the world.
And this is how you promote this idea globally, right?
That's right. That's how we promote it. That's how we track it. And also we can have rewards built in so that people can feel incentivized and encouraged to do their best work.
How did you come to this idea?
Well, the seed was planted, if you will. Back when I was 4 years old, I actually planted my first tree. So my mother was an environmentalist and an activist. They were illegally cutting down the eucalyptus gum trees in my hometown of Avalon, Australia, where I was born. They were doing this to construct buildings, and so she was campaigning to make them stop cutting the trees. We also planted these gum trees, and that definitely served as some inspiration. But really in 2019, you probably saw in the news, the forest fires just engulfed Australia. Billions of animals were burnt alive. And I forced myself to watch those videos. Instead of looking away, I watched them, and it broke my spirit. I felt horrible, like the world is such a messed up place, and I honestly felt helpless for some time until I did something about it. I launched a little fundraiser back in the Facebook fundraiser days, raised a few $1,000s, and sure, it didn't completely change the world, but I felt like I was doing something. I felt this sense of aliveness and passion, like it actually is possible to do something about it. And that energy I've just been leaning into ever since, and that's what's fueled me to do things like the tree planting Guinness World Record. It took me 3 attempts before it became Guinness official, before I planted 30,469 mangrove trees in 24 hours. But it's because of those experiences that I've been able to really push through any kind of challenges that have stood in my way to make this happen.
How do you usually inspire people, especially young activists, to work with you, to join your initiative?
Well, I think it starts with an inspirational goal, like breaking a world record or planting 1 billion trees in a day. It's something that we can all kind of get behind and rally, right? Because no individual organization or even, company is going to be possible doing that, right, on their own. But together, there's so much more that we can accomplish. There's so much more capable of making a really great lasting change. And people have to make sure that it's really happening too, right? It has to be transparent. They need to know that this was done, and also in the right way. So it's not about saying, hey, plant this tree, this is like top down. It's like, no, bottom up, grassroots, partnering with all the different local community-based organizations and NGOs that know exactly which trees should be planted where, how should they be planted, how do we take care of these trees long term. Having that bottom up approach and a collaborative spirit is how we can bring many different groups on board. But by having these commitments from the governments and the ministers of environment to say, yes, we will be joining the coalition, yes, we will be planting these trees, that's what helps also inspire as well, because once the leaders, pave the way. By the way, in Ethiopia, it was the leaders, the ministers who actually got out there and planted the whole day that inspired the whole country to take place. And that's how they got tens of millions of people to participate in their one-day initiative, which was a part of the Green Legacy Initiative. Ethiopia planted 5.7 billion trees this year. It's absolutely incredible what they've been able to accomplish. And that started with the leaders really, taking that first step and leading the charge, right?
So you also build a bridge between the government, state structures, civil society organizations, media sources, activists, scientists who help you to understand where it's better to do, and educators to promote this idea among students, children, and others, right?
100%. Everyone has a role to play. Like you said, the scientists, we need to know the best methodologies, the ways to do it, the leaders, the funders as well, the sponsors, everyone, playing their part. Because if everyone does something, then we actually stand a chance of putting a dent in the climate crisis, right? We can't just rely on others to do the things. I hope that the outcome of this COP is that, we have everything that people hope for and the commitments and they actually follow through on it, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Everyone's got to do their part. We all have to do everything that we possibly can.
Then climate finance, the key issue for discussion here at COP29, and sponsors who will pay for this. How do you inspire the sponsors to join the project? What are the benefits they can get from this?
Look, we're growing a movement of people. We're going to engage tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people in this initiative, right? There's already tens of millions involved just within the Ethiopia's One Day initiative, but we're getting many countries involved. So it's not just all of the media attention and the social media content. We're going to try to bring on all the biggest influencers as well, like Mr. Beast, all these different people to really make as much noise as possible, because we're growing a movement here, right? It's not just the awareness, but it's also the actual participation, the people that are going to be involved in this that can actually engage in these brands that are funding it to make it happen, right? So it's a wide variety of not just marketing benefits, but also deep engagement, so that you can know, okay, wow, this company actually cares. They're actually doing something about it. And maybe that goes beyond financial support too, right? Maybe there are different resources, or maybe their employees can all come out and plant trees as well. It's really about having a holistic approach to sponsorship, and also making sure that people really see these companies for what they are, and they get to put their mark of look, this is our values, right? This is what we really care about, and we're doing all these different things about it, and we're going to make sure we spotlight that as best as possible, so that we can mobilize these funds towards climate action.
Do you also work with developed countries? There is a huge division among the approach of developed countries and developing countries to the climate change issues. Even here at COP29, the countries cannot come with a consensus on how to proceed future. So you should have a special program to pursue the developed nations to join the project and to promote it within its societies.
100%, yeah. So I knocked on every single door, like I said, at the delegation there. And look, I believe there are three kind of categories in which someone can make an impact, right? There's time, there's value, and then there's money. So some people and countries can mobilize their nation to put in the time to plant the trees. Others can add value in many different ways, from measuring, reporting, verification, to different science research, all the stuff, many different ways you can add value. And then, of course, there's money. And a lot of developed countries, maybe they're not going to do a tree planting day and declare a national holiday with the time, but they can put in the money, right? And so there are many different categories, different ways to do that. In the developed countries, most likely it's going to be money, for the most part.
Any specific idea you have for Azerbaijan? If I'm not mistaken, this is your first visit to Baku City.
It is, yeah.
So what's about your future intentions to work here, probably?
Yeah, I was mostly in the blue zone, but I did also venture into the green zone here at COP. And I met some people who were promoting launching businesses here, and they were actually saying, if you bring a company of a certain size here to Azerbaijan, you can have like 10 years of no taxes, and they're very supportive of startups. And so it is very interesting to try to launch different companies here in Azerbaijan. They're trying to create a very fertile ground for these particularly green and social enterprises to thrive here in Azerbaijan. So it's definitely something that we're looking into. But I've also been speaking with the government folks here of Azerbaijan, and would love to obviously plant as many trees here as possible as well.
Great. So your project looks fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us today. We wish you good luck, a lot of success. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Let's grow.
Thank you.
All right.